Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As you can about title today's video, we're here to talk about why big locks have become the meta in NBA 2K26 as far as the lockdown position goes, or just as a defender in general. So, we'll get into all the discussions of why that is the makeup and stuff like that in just a second, but I do want to start the video with showing you guys the build that I have in mind of something like that, because it's already been in a previous video, so let's just go ahead and show it to you. As you can see, it's a 6'8", 231 pounds, 7'1" wingspan. Now, the 7'1" wingspan is to allow you to get 83 three-pointer, to be able to get the bronze limitless, and yes, you are looking at 26 pass accuracy. Now, I said this in the video that I posted on the day of, like, it was the morning of the game coming out, and I wanted to drop this video because after having played the game on day one, my impression was that something like this would become really, really powerful, and that it is, if you ask me. Now, with 7'4" stretch bigs, 7'4" post scorers, 7'4" inside centers, the ability to move as a guard, whether it's a 6'8", a 6'4", a 6'6", anything in between all of those heights, a whole foot of height difference between the 6'4" and the 7'4". Builds like this are the only build in the game that can truly guard them all. That's my true take. I think if you're 6'9" and above, you're too slow. I think if you're 6'7" and below, you're too short. And you just don't have the ability to play the interior defense and the perimeter defense at the same time to be able to do both. And then on top of that too, if we talk about, like, let's say the ability to move as a point guard, it's hard even for small locks to keep up with them in the first place off of screens. So with the screens comes, if you have two builds like this that are versatile defenders that can switch everything, you have the ability to guard them easily, because at the end of the day, it makes a guard have to ISO you. If you can switch on the screens and force them to just keep on spamming the screen over and over and over again, and eventually have to peek through, like, you know, gaps and stuff like that. And then let me not even talk about the fact that the build has like 88 block, the gold high flying denier, the 80 vertical, so the jump contests are ridiculous in tandem with the block rating as well, is what creates that. And the ability to, like, you know, jump contest through those little peak shots that the guards would even try and do through the pick and rolls is ridiculous. So all things included, between pluck steals are bad, so inherently small locks that have 99 steal are just not good in general. And again, you don't have to have elite speed, because 86 speed at 6'8" already moves really, really well. And then I didn't even get into the fact that the ISO style is very popular in this year's game, whether it's 3s or 2s, and a build like this is literally the absolute ISO stopper. It's got the interior D, the block, the gold high flying denier that is in tier 2, so you can actually, like, tier 2 plus to it and put it to legend high flying denier on top of that. And again, good on-ball D, like with the gold challenger, gold on-ball menace, and then obviously the ability to, you know, max +1 and +2 those as well. Now, this build was created in the image of trying to play for the cap breakers a little bit, because honestly, we're already getting a pretty interesting influx of cap breakers. Between, there's like, you know, career lifetime goals that you can achieve of like 100 of them, and honestly, it's stuff like doing things in the 2KU and stuff, which is very doable. I'm about to, like, go on a little quest tomorrow and, like, try and complete a lot of that stuff. But there's like that cap breaker. There's a season XP one of getting to level 40 for the season. There's the rookie 5. That's like 3 of them already. And then for the crews, in like 4 days, we're all gonna have pretty much, well, at least the people that are in popular, you know, crews and with like a lot of people are gonna have another 3 off of that as well. So you're looking at 6 to 7 cap breakers already. So anyway, point being is, playing for 3 cap breakers right here to go to the 92 defensive rebound, because on top of all of the things we've talked about as a lockdown in today's video, on top of that is the ability to rebound. Like, you have to be able, if you want to be switchable and you want to be able to guard bigs, you have to also deal with them on the boards. So gold rebound chaser, gold box out beast, solid, like really, really good. And again, if you didn't want to do that, I would pretty much say you could go ahead and do something like this. You could just, I don't know, maneuver a couple extra ratings. If you wanted to make like a park build, for instance, this is pretty much what I did, is exactly this right here. But again, if you want to play for that long-term cap break as well, that's why you're looking at the instance of the 89 defensive rebound right here and putting 3 on that. Now, you might question if, like, you know, this is the build that's worth making as far as like the pass accuracy. I've already seen this in action, if you want to take my word for it, but we're also gonna have some gameplay of the builds just straight up being like good defenders on the court. And then also while I'm on the court with my 6'10" running point guard, because what I've done is just played the 6'10" point center, just allowing myself to just really get in the lab, allow myself to even screw up sometimes, because I have the defense on the court, like with my teammates, to make up for it, and it really bails me out and allows me to make mistakes and learn while playing the game. And on top of that too, just take 2-point dunks and like floaters and stuff like that and feel okay about it, because I know that we can get stops on the other end. So anyway, again, you have 80 mid-range for the sharpshooter takeover, you have 83 three-pointer for bronze limitless range that you can, eventually, if you would like, +2 and put on gold for that matter. And I've seen the builds that the people I've played with have been fading from 3 with this build. And also another cap break potential you have is with 3 speed with ball cap breakers, you can put your speed with ball to 77 and it gets you the silver lightning launch as well as gets Zach LaVine dribble style. Your pass accuracy, if you put 5 cap breaks into, gets all the way up to like 60, 65-ish, which I don't think is really worth. But if you wanted to repair the build in that sense because you don't like it, you could do that as well. But I've played with these builds all the last 2 days, essentially. I've been putting my boys onto it. It's by far the easiest thing to plug and play and just glue guy, essentially. And I've seen them in rec. They've been able to just either A, pass the ball a lot further than you would think and more reliably than you would think, but also just kind of dump it down to me and just let me be the advanced pass and stuff like that. So anyway, all things considered, man, it's able to play the interior D well, the blocks well, play the chase downs, guard ISO, switch on screens, play passing lanes, get the rebounds. I mean, guard post scores to an extent. It's probably the hardest matchup it has is guarding 7-4s because it's not exactly like a perfect matchup for it. But tell the truth, like what else can guard guards but also guard 7-4s in this game? 6'9" is probably the best bet you could possibly go for, but again, it's just like that's more skewed in terms of guarding the bigs, and at the end of the day, it's 1 more inch of height. I mean, you could put the interior defense on this build to 98 if you would like. You could go up on the wingspan and even get like another level of paint patroller if you really like as well, and just miss out on the 83 three-pointer. But anyway, I wanted to show you guys this because I have like homies that have made so many different variations of this, whether it's WAF with like, a big wingspan one. My boy Connor, aka Handles, has made another one that's like this. Bonnie and Tyson have made pretty much this exact replica of this build right here, and that's what we're going to show you in today's gameplay. Alright, so what I want to showcase in today's gameplay right here is going to be some jump contest ability. The ability to actually like just put yourself into a contest that you weren't even supposed to be in the first place. And obviously the versatility is on hand as well, and I want to use this gameplay as not exactly perfect defense display, but to show you the potential of the builds. So what you will see early in this video is I want to use it as an example where we screw up, but what you could do perfectly and properly if given the right reps and chemistry, because this is Bonnie's, like one of Bonnie's first games with us or anything like that, right? So first of all, we're going to show offense because I do want to show what these builds are still capable of on O, and as you can see, we got Tyson wrapping around me off the inbound. Ideally wanted to go to the 3-point line off that, but wasn't able to. Now, I want to use this exact situation right here as an example to you guys of why switch locks are important in big locks in general, and the whole point of the title of the video is why they're so important and why they're meta, if you ask me, in my opinion. So if you were to simply play this pick and roll of Bonnie's on the left side of it, boom, simple as that. Tyson's on the right side of it, boom, simple as that. If the big man slips, you figure it out between each other of who's going down, who's going up. Simple, right? Now the thing is, if Bonnie were unswitchable, if he were a 6'4", 6'5", maybe even 6'6" and below lock, and he couldn't switch on to the big because he can't afford to for the sake of primarily rebounding. It's hard to really, put a guy on a big if he can't even rebound at all. But also for the interior defensive sake, and for a lot of cases, there might be really tall bigs that are stretches, and they're hard to contest if you have a small lock as well. So point being, a lot of small defenders, you can't afford to even switch them at all. So it leads you on the back end to be in a situation like this. I promise we won't pause the video a whole lot. It's just I want to use this as a really good example of why sides and switchable defensive players are as important as they are. So if you're Tyson on the back end, and this were figuratively a lockdown that cannot switch onto the big or anything like that, you're going to be in a situation where you as the back end have to hedge for this pick and roll, but also then recover to your pop. And then as you can see, the pop is open right there. Now, if they were to have just played sides on this and, Bonnie would have just stayed on his left side of the screen and allowed Tyson to pick up on the right here, like as you can see he was intending to do, it would have just been boxed up. There would have been nothing there. And, it would be very simple to just play that type of defense right there. So I want to just explain that before we get too far into the video that, like, yes, there are mistakes in this video as far as defense goes, but I did still want to just mention it for the sake of, like, what could be done. And also for that matter, that Bonnie was kind of bricking a little bit in this game. It wasn't his best offensive showing, but I just wanted to show a decent, competition. We have a lot of games against a lot of like brown banners and stuff like that, black banners. I don't want to show that. I obviously wanted to still show some decent players right here. So denying the screen, obviously, he just tries to get out of the way and goes to the ISO instead. Playing really good defense right here from Bonnie, and then really solid body ups on the big man right here as well. Now, they go to that pick and pop. As you can see, Bonnie's ready to switch that one, so we get the good sides defense. Now the jump contest on the center, and boom, there you go. It's an 80% contest, and they were running out of time. The switchability creates a lot of situations where, let's say, the guard has to use a lot of adrenaline to even just have nothing happen anyway, and yeah, not a whole lot's going on right there. Now, I'll say right here, because we are still going to talk about offense, I do think they should fix this and like maybe make it so it's green or miss on layups. It's kind of bogus. I don't really think that should be allowed, to be honest with y'all. But right there, a little bit of a fight through, but on that handoff, as you can see, boom, a switch, and now he's already losing adrenaline. He's getting bumped. I mean, this lockdown build's obviously very physical, and now, boom, coming to the center right here, nothing happening. Once again, another jump contest and locking him up. Right there, I try and throw the outlet, but the guard's actually like there for the bump. Nothing doing on O right here, but as you can see, nasty relay pass. Again, unfortunately, Bonnie not having his best shooting game, but boom, as you can see, getting a nice little offensive rebound into an instant standing dunk meter. I'll talk about that in a different video, because I'm not gonna lie, there is a lot of things to talk about on that, of why that's really kind of overpowered, to be real with y'all. Not the standing dunk meter, but the instance of the O board straight into one. It's like low-key the defender can't even do anything about it, because they just went from trying to get a rebound into, actually just being put in a situation where they are trying to contest it, but they're already like mid-jumping for the board. Now right here, I will say, and this is why the title of the video kind of is what it is, of like the jump contest being the thing that is worth mentioning. When you get hit with moves like this, obviously it's hard to guard, right? You're going from guarding a guard that is like, going into a drive, and then all of a sudden, boom, a snatchback, right? The jump contest is very important when you're in a situation like that where it's not really sure if you're going to be able to get into a good position or not. Now right there, boom, as you see, a nice little dot, we get Bonnie. But again, the reason that I really want you guys to really think about the jump contest that you see in this gameplay is that it really is the best way to play defense in this game. Now, I will say, obviously you can live and die by it a little bit. You can see I get a little bit out of body on it because we get a little bit out of position. Tyson was maybe not in the greatest guarding position either, so I tried to overcompensate a little bit, and I left my guy open for it, and maybe it would have been okay if I just let my teammates kind of do their own thing. So I don't want to make too much of a fuss about that. But anyway, as you can see, Bonnie with a crazy bump into actually tracking it down. I gotta mention this, by the way. He's using a Sar Thompson motion style, if anybody thinks that this is like super fast out of 86 speed right there. But also that my finishing takeover allows me to not even have to press a button, or for that matter, even time the alley-oop or anything like that. Interesting, right? I didn't even know it until like just a little bit later yesterday of like having some reps of this. And also a couple, like multiple reps, because I didn't even know it was a thing even after the first one. I thought it was maybe just some weird bug from the game. But anyway, as you see, a little bit of a stun, but I want to also use my build, as I mentioned, of the tall locks, if you will, because I don't really think mine is a lockdown per se, but obviously I have I'm 6'10 with 82 per MD, and I have, Silver Challenger that is also plus oneable or plus twoable to like Golden Hall of Fame. So whether you want to call me a lock or not, understandable, right? I'm not trying to, claim myself as one. But when Bonnie gets beat off the dribble right here, I show, but with the intention of getting back to the corner. I call this playing tag. So my intention is never to actually full pick up. It's just to send this enough to force the ball into my guy's hands rather than his, because I'm not actually going to stay. But as you can see, with a solid pass animation and into his hands comes me realizing that I'm going to need to jump contest this. And I finally have my block and ability to actually get this. I want y'all to know, yes, block is a big dependent in terms of your jump contest ability. I only had like 40 at a certain point in time because it was something I upgraded last on my build, and I was not getting contests like this, and my vertical was still 85. So absolutely block is important in terms of getting those. So with that, once again, comes being a switchable like kind of hybrid lock is really important, because if you were to be a 6'5" or a 6'6" that has 60 block, you're not getting these kinds of jump contests, fellas. Like, this is insane and really overpowered. It's hard to deal with that on an offensive side of the court when you think you have a shot and then all of a sudden you don't. And then again, with these guys right here comes the ability to box out and rebound. Obviously, I'm on the court as a 6'10" point center, so like I'm grabbing boards myself as well, whether it's offensive or defensive for that matter. And as you can see, I mean, we missed 2 shots and we have 6 rebounds and they have 0. So that means if we miss 2 shots, I'm assuming that means I grabbed 2 O boards. So anyway, my whole point here essentially is that the more size you have on the court, the more rebounding you have on the court, the more jump contestability you have on the court, the more switchability you have in general of not having to fight through a screen ever is nice. And mind you that we also showed some clips of like getting ISO'd as well, and the chase down blocks weren't something we highlighted here, but if any build is going to get a chase down block, it's going to be the one with 88 block, gold high flying denier, and 80 vertical, man. Like it's really the ISO stopper, it's the pick and roll stopper. As long as you have the sticks to keep up with people in the ISO when you have, you know, 86 speed, 92 perim, I don't think that's the craziest thing in the world. I hear people talk about that 80 agility as like a big deterrent in terms of the build, but I'm telling you, like I really do think in the right cases, this build can keep up. The only reason that 80 agility sucks is if you have to get stuck on the front side of a screen and the back side can't switch or anything like that. Because if you can switch, I don't think you should ever get beat like really bad, if you ask me, as far as like, you know, you don't have to run through a screen ever, for one. And then 2, if you get put in an ISO with an outside guard that's really used to using screens in terms of like, you know, it being a thing he depends on quite a bit, I don't think you should really get cooked. That's just my take. So anyway, that's all for the gameplay, and that's all for the video. I hope you enjoyed. I probably will just showcase, I would show like another game, but I think you guys will see this build on the channel plenty moving forward. So anyway, that's all for this one. I just wanted to show you the build. I wanted to show you this in like full action against some decent team and stuff like that too. And you know, especially the jump contest, because it was something I really wanted to hammer home as like a really big deal of why the block matters, and also just why the switchability matters and stuff too. So anyway, that's all for the video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new to noties, all good stuff. Like always, try 1 to 1,000 likes. And if you made it to the end of the video, put 6'8" or put 6'9", put 6'7", whatever you'd like in the comments. Search words when I through. I do still believe, low-key, that like 6'7s can be big enough to guard bigs as well. And I do still think 6'9s are fast enough to still guard guards as well. It's just like the 6'8 is the perfect hybrid mesh of it all, if you ask me. 6'9s are cool though. They get like special badge tiering and stuff as well, with like the ability to get on-ball menace, challenger, you know, the interceptor as well as glove, even though glove kind of sucks, but I don't know. I mean, the other thing that obviously we mentioned in the builder, but I really do want to bring up is the fact that like the small locks being kind of nerfed a little bit off the fact that the glove doesn't work really does play into a big lock's hands. Why have 99 steal or why have 99 perim if you can't really like benefit off of walling people up and then getting the pluck animations or anything like that? If you ask me, you might as well be built on the, you know, switchability and the versatility and just more taking up space, you know, and you're better at guarding ISO. I don't know, it's just my take. But anyway, that's all for the video. I hope you all enjoyed, and on that, take these, man. Peace.